Hi everyone, Charles from The Food People here. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. Back today for the 6th episode in our 12-part series, looking at the longer term shifts in food and drink as a result of COVID-19 through the lens of our annual trends framework. In this episode, we look at Wondrous Nature. That sits as part of the wider social trend, the pleasure principle, a movement that is centered around food and drink as a source of pleasure and escapism. And in these times, it's more important than ever to find respite and fun where we can. So in this COVID era, everything from snacking, cooking and meal times take on a greater meaning. Within Wondrous Nature, we appreciate Mother Nature more than ever. As the pace of life slows a little, we're finding magic and wonder in our own backyards, fields and parks. Gardening has replaced going to the pub as a national pastime, and local walks provide unexpected inspiration. The desire to protect the natural world abounds. So too does the appetite for anything its bounty as Mother Nature intended. From tropical fruit to mystical mushrooms, the world is full of ingredients that need no alterations or modifications, enjoyed in their simplest form. So let's start with topical tropical. There is no doubt about it that we are officially all things tropical obsessed, from home kitchens to restaurants to catwalks. We're inundated with images of palm trees, pineapples and coconut. As consumers look for exotic holiday-esque twists in their day-to-day life to boost their mood and give them that holiday feeling that is likely to become more prevalent. That means that we're not only seeing it when it comes to interiors and fashion, but also within our food, with more people using tropical colours and fresh flavours. Traditional tropical flavours such as watermelon, coconut, passion fruit and mango are now giving way to some of the lesser known, however, of course, equally exciting counterparts like the star fruits, guavas, dragon fruits, mangosteens and acai. As for dishes, we've just been skimming the surface with tropical flavours we already know and love, for example, mango salsa and goat curry and obviously jerk chicken. We should expect an increase in the lesser known dishes, a new innovation to make ways. Think Cuban sandwiches, barbecue pineapple, coconut pavlova, and the list could obviously go on. There are also obvious opportunities here in the tropical and Caribbean mixes, spices, marinades and flavours in categories like snacking and barbecue, summer eating obviously, seasonal drinks, cocktails, but also in desserts with the lesser known tropical fruits as well. Then we have Discovering Neptune Sea Fish. The public body that supports the UK seafood industry states from a recent poll that over half of consumers would like to eat more seafood. There are many factors that are increasing consumers' interest in this sector, such as the health credentials of seafood, particularly oily fish. As we've mentioned in previous episodes in Renew Me and Don't Damage Me, consumers are becoming progressively concerned about their health and immunity, and fish can be an excellent source of protein, omega-3 and vitamin D. Other factors are the ever-growing interest in the flexitarian and pescatarian lifestyles, as many consumers look to cut down on their meat intake, and fish and seafood being used as a replacement. We also cannot forget the new lifestyle movement on the block, which is veganism, which is a diet that excludes all animal products except sustainable fish and seafood. So there's no question of doubt that innovation in the fish and seafood sector itself is rising massively. Today's innovators are thinking far beyond traditional seafood formats and are going way outside of the box. We're seeing things from seaweed crisps to squid sausages, seafood hot dogs to salmon jerky, and fish aging in a more waste-conscious and health-conscious world. As we seek solace and comfort, the world of seafood offers a plethora of options, from the fish pie and fish and chips, fish fingers and scampi, to name a few, as well as fish named as meat for a level of familiarity from the world of meat: fish sausage, fish pastrami, fish jerky or fish burger. Additionally, lockdown has connected us with domestic industries and in particular farmers and fishermen. We expect a renewed focus on the plight of the domestic fishing industries and the people within them. And we have Fairytale forests. Gardens and greenery have been trending everywhere, from food to fashion to interior design. And from a visual perspective, that means lots of deep greens, forestry-inspired prints, bluebells, bright yellow sunflowers, crimson roses, mystical mushrooms. This year's palette is all about vivid, vibrant and warm, natural light colours that appeals to children plus adults alike. You may ask the question, what's driving the obsession with all things green and natural? Well, the uncertain times that we're faced with are a big factor, as many people have turned to gardening to keep busy whilst increasing their mood. It seems that gardens, vegetables, flowers and parks are providing a little bit of escapism for consumers in these tough times. And we're actually gaining culinary inspiration from this too. We're seeing focaccia loaves adorned with edible flowers, cakes draped in fresh flowers, and you can't have escaped the 2020 social media frenzy around wild foraged garlic pesto. Leaves are getting renewed attention in this food era where waste reduction, root to stem eating and foraging are connecting us with nature. And it's not all carrot tops and cauliflower leaves, but also sorrel leaves, hawthorn, broad bean leaves, and also fig, blackcurrant and citrus leaves being used in sweet cooking. Mushrooms continue to surge in presence and popularity due to their meat-like texture, flavour and that, of course, umami hit, as well as their purported medicinal properties, particularly for reishi and chaga mushroom, but also for their wider associations with nature, woodland, fairy tales, all offering comfort in uncertain times. Then we have as it is. As consumers' concern around the impact of what they put in their body increases, many want to believe that what they eat is as untouched and unprocessed as possible. Although it's not a universally agreed or defined term, the discussion around clean label is ever growing. Roughly speaking, it's all about being natural, organic, and using as fewer ingredients and processes as possible. We then have to take into consideration that the pace of life has significantly slowed down for some people, which is allowing them to take pleasure in things that may have previously been overlooked. Cooking, of course, which we've discussed in previous and will discuss in upcoming episodes, but also the natural world around us, which is being appreciated now more than ever. This all feeds into the growing appetite for enjoying food as nature intended. We've all heard of the wonky fruit and vegetable, and just because it's blemished or asymmetrical doesn't mean that it isn't nutritious and delicious. We then enter the era of Ugalicious. As flavours and nutritional values are once again at the top of the agenda, we expect a shift to rid of all unnecessary bells and whistles and instead a focus on closer to nature, valuing the whole to reduce waste, whether this be shop brought or homegrown. So in this article, we've highlighted some of the shifts that are likely to evolve and develop in the COVID era through the lens of wondrous nature. The opportunity within tropical, holiday-esque escapism in food and drink to continue as we look to be connected with the tropical cultures that we can't visit. We expect the continued momentum behind sustainable domestic seafood, either for health, nostalgia, or as part of a meat reduction lifestyle. There will be opportunity in food and drinks that offer maximum comfort and connection with nature from minimally prepared and minimal waste. By considering these shifts and how you as a business brand, startup or entrepreneur pivot and adapt in consideration of them will mean that you're well positioned to succeed in this COVID era in food and drink. Episode 7 will be continuing to look at the pleasure principle social driver, this time looking at the megatrend deeper flavour through the lens of the COVID-19 pandemic and the longer term shifts that we expect to see manifest. So join our community for the details of episode 7 and all of the latest food and drink trends foresight. Visit thefoodpeople.co.uk and complete your details at the footer of the page. Stay safe and keep well, and we'll see you in episode 7. Thank you for listening.